Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is Star Wars Saturdays, so named because I usually run it on Saturdays, but sometimes I call it SWS and it's on Sundays, like now. In fact, it's Easter Sunday, very excitedly, not Orthodox Easter Sunday, which I think is a different time, but the general Americano Easter Sunday. Fun stuff. We will not be eating chocolate bunnies. I'm sorry to say. Well, maybe some people will surreptitiously be eating chocolate. I myself have no chocolate bunnies until my son wakes up and my wife gives him his chocolate bunny, of which I'll get zero. Enough about that. In Star Wars Saturdays, every month I pick a different RPG. Sometimes they're repeats from previous months, but I'll reskin it for Star Wars and we play together for the month. Folks from the Gauntlet community, which is an online group of fans, friends, and aficionados of indie, small press, and OSR tabletop role-playing games, will gather together through an RSVP system we have for the community. It's very fun. And this month we are playing The Sprawl. I do not have a book to show you, but I very soon will, because I think I'm going to order one. I've really enjoyed this game. It is a mission-based cyberpunk RPG. And you're saying to yourself, wait, cyberpunk and Star Wars? Hold on. Star Wars is very 70s sci-fi with a lot of mod and very big, bulky tech. You're not wrong, except, hey, Darth Vader was kind of a cyborg. He had a lot of cybernetics and stuff, and we remember Lobot. So it's not a 100%. Like I said, I've reskinned these games. So there are aspects of the Sprawl that I've excised, like the Matrix and the idea of a hacker. Those, for me, while I know there are slicers in some computer RPGs and RPGs for Star Wars official license stuff have that hacking kind of thing, it doesn't, hashtag not my Star Wars, so we excise that. Also, even more importantly, I've found that having that extra layer of the Matrix and specialists who go into that Matrix, this is Shadowrun damage. It has nothing to do with the Sprawl, but I don't like it. Deckers kind of slow the game to a crawl. And I understand that in the latest iterations of Shadowrun, that's not so much the case. That said, I haven't played that, and the Sprawl has a whole matrix and hacker playbook and all this stuff, and we've just elided all of that to say there is cyborgs, there are programs, there is computers, there are droids. It's the stuff you'd expect from Star Wars, just a little cyber punky-ified. So we still have huge corporations. We're playing on a planet called Sereno. It is within the Empire, even though our timeline is where the New Republic is taking over most of the battle, well, wresting control from the Empire back to the people, because the New Republic will last until First Order. 30 years, that's about when a reign works for Star Wars in the last bit of our media. But we are in one of the Imperial remnants known as Zinj's Empire, and Sereno has a huge cyberpunk city that looks not unlike what I'm or what's behind Brandon or even Sherry, and kind of Will. Like Will's background is very stark and beautiful in its own way, and also vacant and sad. So it's a cyberpunk city. There are corporations that rule the roost, as it were. Oh, you just switched to some more high tech. All right. I love it. How did you go to a different place so quickly, Will? It's amazing to me. No, I'll stop babbling. We are in the middle of a mission. In fact, very near the end of it. However, we made a decision to, after a bit of pre-game talk, we wanted to carve out that last bit of the mission for Alan to be able to show up, and Alan's not able to join us right this minute. So we're going to do something slightly different. Let's go around the horn and have folks remind us of the characters that they're playing, and then we will figure out that post-mission stuff. Sherry, if you could go first, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about your character?
Sure. I'm Sherry Stewart. I use her pronouns. I am playing Dana Zor. And she is a cat burglar, essentially a infiltrator class, specializing in getting in, picking up small items or pieces of information. It's particularly information is what she's decently good at. And mostly she does this so she can help out her friend, Sela, I think is her name, who is the medic for all of Block 13. So essentially a place that has, what, thousands of people living in it. She's the sole medic, so I try to support her. She's a dear friend, but right now I'm pretty banged up. So
Hey, awesome. Cool. Thank you so very much. Brandon, you are up next. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Brandon, he, him pronouns, playing Claith Dejecrew, who is a former corporate mercenary who could not stomach that lifestyle and is now on somewhat in the middle of trying to find what he cares about. He just used a zip line to rescue a Jawa super cool infiltrator and a pop star from a tower, which is probably one of the cooler things he's done in his life, although he won't admit it to you.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. And you also have a droid friend. I'm supposed to remind you of that. So we're excited to bring that in. Will, you are up, my friend.
Hi, my name is Will. My pronouns are he, him. I don't know what the pronouns are of Wick. Whatever you want to call them, who knows what's under that robe. Because Wick is a Jawa. And last session, he confronted a long-time enemy, a mercenary called Grim, who got his clanmate. I can't find it in my notes. I've got too many names. But who got my clanmate to Seago, I think, or something like that.
Seanock.
I usually bold all the names when I put them in for the first time, and I've not been so diligent on it this time. Seanock. Well, yeah, Grim got Seanock killed, and he tried to confront us here, and he has a Cortex bomb, which I let him go in exchange for Seanock's debt. And so, yeah, we will see whether he makes a return. And, you know, Wick was a Jawa that got rescued last session because it didn't go well for him running away from the blaster bolts.
Oh, well, you know, blaster bolts are tough to escape, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, they move slower than the speed of light, so, you know.
Cool. So what we talked about was to carve out that ending of the last mission. We're going to jump forward. It's not on the cutting room floor, never to be seen again. We'll just get paid and the end of the mission to see how well it comes out when Alan is able to join us. In the interim, though, we're going to get some downtime, which I'm excited about because I like these characters. I want to see what they do in between. So you've already, whatever happened, good or ill, you ended up at heaven below hell. Perhaps you delivered Sindar. Perhaps you didn't. Some time has passed. A couple days have passed since that mission has come to a close. We will flash back to that mission to see how well or not well it came out. But I know some folks are hurt and some folks have some other things to take care of. So who is interested in going first to talk about where they are, and possibly we can jump into a scene to explore that?
I would love to find out what Squackis and Weewa have been doing in between our sessions, as they have been out on the hustle. And yeah,
All
that
right.
would be petty theft and technical work, I guess. I think I'll go with, I only just realized that I've chosen two things that give me exactly the same reward. So I will just
If you want to switch one, if you want to swap one out, that's cool too.
Yeah, I will do, but for now I'll just stick with the one. I'll just do one of them.
Okay.
And if we get a chance to do it again, then I'll have swapped out one of them. I mean, I think it's got to be some technical work that they've undertaken for who do you think they've done it for? For the Razor Girls, I think they've done some technical
Ooh,
work.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, that is definitely putting things on a razor's edge to see. Because if things don't go well, the Razor Girls are not very forgiving. That's delightful, and I'm very excited about it. So they're doing some technical work, a couple of techs who you supply with work. Profit is that you gain gear. Disaster, something bad happens to someone else's property. And so between missions, you choose a number of those jobs equal to or less than your current crew. You have a crew of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Describe
just
what
choose
each
the
job
one.
is. You're just going to do the one. You roll plus edge.
Uh-huh. Which I have an edge of 1, I believe. Yes, 1. That's an 8. So wait. One of them is a disaster, and I profit from the rest. Okay, well, I guess I did both.
Sure.
And I'll go with that petty theft profited. We stole some stuff from a different gang, and that went fine. Unfortunately, it didn't go very well when we then tried to install it in the Razor Girls.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's say for just the petty theft, we'll bring in the Hat Red gang.
Mm-hmm.
Gang identified by their bright red jackets and colorful mohawks. The red gang are the biggest gang in the hive, so it's easier to steal off of them. They have the most population and some stuff. So you grab that. You were successful in your petty theft, but when you brought it back and tried to do some technical work, get a couple techs who supply with work. You just basically tried to hand it over to them, and the disaster is that something bad happens to someone else's property. That's good. Not exactly good. I'm going to say that Riddle is the Chiss. If you look on row 10 and the NPCs, you can see her. She has some tech that helps to keep her cold because generally it's pretty hot. And I'm totally borrowing from Farscape. I hope everyone has watched Farscape. If you haven't, if you want to leave this game and go watch Farscape, I think that's a good investment of your time. Personally, it's my favorite sci-fi TV show ever. That said, I think she has like cooling rods that she inserts in to part of her cyberware head, and you guys brought her some coolant, and it was not the right mix.
Coolant from speeder bikes, the same as coolant in head. Yes. No.
And Riddle's like screaming in pain. And Sable, who is a Quarren, they're one of the aquatic species, will come over and reaches in with her little cybernetic hand to yank the rod out. And she would grab. Is Wick there, or is this just a quick scene with Weewa and Squawkus?
I mean, if it's a quick scene with Weewa and Squawkus, and they're pointing at each other, and then pointing back at them, and then pointing at whatever. It's no one's fault, right? Like those dastardly red hats, they did this.
Yeah, and I think there's a moment when it looks like maybe Sable is just going to draw out her monofilament sword, and Shift will come over, grab both of the Jawas, and drag them forcefully out of the place where you guys are meeting.
Well, I know it's not part of the rules.
Yes,
but I was thinking maybe if I throw basically they have to throw a cred at them. As like a cost for them to get out alive.
That seems cool.
Like
yeah.
So because I acquired a bunch of creds last session. So
that's okay. Cool. Sounds perfect to me. Awesome. So you throw a cred their way, and Shift snatches the cred and pulls you away from Sable, telling, "Hey, you need to get her to Yeah, I like it. Yeah, she's say, get her to Kala and Kari, take her to Kala, and then Sable will do that.
I think it's like as Weewar's legs are dangling off the floor, Krennic pulls out a cred, pulls out the card for the the person who can fix it. Yeah.
Nice. So at least Kala gets paid for the work. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Alan, just to bring you in, what we've done is we ended at a very critical point in the last mission and decided to jump ahead post mission to do some like downtimey stuff so that you could be involved in the climax of the last mission. So let's check in with Claith. So Claith, you guys have, for good or ill, finished up the Sindar extraction. What is something that you would like to do? What's a scene in your downtime that interests you?
I was thinking that, and here's my droid. But Wick and Dana were pretty beat up, and I have a doctor that owes me a favor because I
a corp doctor, right?
No. a 2-1B surgical
nice.
droid who is operating an independent underground clinic, probably in is it Sec 13? It's the
well,
crappiest
let's not
one.
have too much overlap here because we have already established an EMT for Block 13 who is Dana's like connection.
That's the only person who does
right.
that. So in my neighborhood, then I guess.
Oh, okay, cool. I think you were in are you in Porg or Corp Quarter? You were in Porg Quarter because the Circle
Porg Quarter
66. Yeah. Okay, good. So he services a whole lot of the like gig workers and the restaurateurs and those folks that work. Awesome. I like it.
Exactly. So if they want to come along to that, I was thinking to and introduce like his bedside manner is it's a module from I think a supper club and presenter droid, but it's better than it was before, if you can imagine. And he owes me some work. I boosted some medical supplies to keep him up. He's doesn't really get around much, kind of only a top half really.
I will definitely take up the thing because the last thing I want to do is go to Kala wounded so that all the creds I give her go back into me. So that's
true because
she don't want to put that on.
Give her a few creds and then she goes and wastes it on all the Bacta and everything to that sounds good. Awesome. So Claith, you are dragging Dana. Wick of course would help with cheaper defraying costs, right?
Oh, yeah. Wick is more damaged than Dana.
Oh, is Wick here too? All three of you?
I mean, I'm imagining Wick is still unconscious at the point that we're taking, because Wick wasn't actually in that last scene. I'm happy with Wick just being carried around like a limp teddy bear, like sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, we take Dana, which means Wick is coming. She's attached to her back
over my shoulder. So yeah.
So because the pick of Wick is wearing a backpack, do you just like pick up the backpack, therefore you're holding Wick a lot?
That's actually
that's so good. Oh, that tickles me to no end. And by the way, Brandon has notified me that you call this droid 2B, which is great because it's like a 2-1. It's perfect.
Like surgical tubes. He thinks it's funny.
I think it's very funny. Sweet. All right. So 2B is who you really look at.
You know, I have to suggest the modifications.
Oh man, I don't know if you guys use Imgur, but it has been over capacity for the entire weekend, and it's very sad because I use it all the time, and it's not working for me, and it makes me sad. That's okay. All right, let's set that scene. So you said he has programming from a supper club. Just Brandon, so you and I are on the same page for a supper club programming would be what, very presentational, very
like the cheap patter of someone who is
like
thing.
schmaltzy.
What am I have to do it now.
Yeah, do it. Just do
it. Like the person who would be like warming up the audience before like the band comes on at a place you're having like dinner at maybe at like the Knights of Columbus or something like that. So very like, hey, boys and girls, ladies and droids, something. I'm not gonna make. I can't think up any jokes, but I was like, I thought this up too just recently, but like very schmaltzy, like over the top enthusiasm that would be out of place in a medical setting. Like, come on down, let's get this surgery started.
Oh Lordy, thank you for handing me this challenge. I'll do the best I can. So Claith, Dana, and the unconscious form of Wick. And you know what the heck, we'll say that Socks tags along just so Alan doesn't have to play audios for too long. The four of you head up one of the like a turbo lift. It's not super turbo, it's more like just a lift. It's you're in this dingy set of it's very industrial. Like, you would not call this a set of apartments. It's more like Duracrete office spaces, and it's not super clean on the outside. There's like a thin film of dust in the corners and the edges where occasionally a droid will come through and sweep, but it's been a week or so. You head down following Claith's directions, and then you end up at a nondescript, unmarked door. And as the four of you, or three of you standing there, one of you just laying there unconscious, you can wake up at any point that you determine it's interesting for Wick to wake up. But hopefully you guys can hear this, because this tickles me. A little, like, there's a circle that pops, and this little cybernetic eye stalk thing comes out, and so the gatekeeper droid comes out, scans the four of you, and then the door opens right up, because Clay, this is your good friend Tubi. And as you step out of the dingy corridor into the area, there are a couple of spotlights come up, and they like shine in your faces. And then you see these string lights, color lights that all circle around this area. And there's a back to tank, but it's got someone floating in it. And they're attached to his, like, I'm imagining that Tubi doesn't get out, literally doesn't get out. He's got a set of tracks that he moves around on, similar to like a train track type thing, where he just kind of zips around to different sections in his little medical thing. And he says,
well, the stars are bright. My good friend Clave, bringing me more people to work upon. So, how's everybody doing this evening?
Well, Tubi, I got an audience for you today. Wick Chunkatiga over here is Blaster Fire. Also Danazor, Blaster Fire. But I think you might want to work on him first.
Oh my, we've got a couple of ouchies. All right, get that little guy over here on this gurney and I'll strap him down. I mean, give him the best care, of course. Wait, is that Socks-Eye Peter behind you trying to hide out? Socks, come on in here, have a seat. You need to regale me with a tale of the latest race you had.
Oh, you don't want to hear that, Toby. Just focus on the care. I don't want to distract you, and I don't tell stories as well as you do.
I have a multi-threaded processor. I am a multitasker. In fact, if you don't tell me a story, I'll have to tell one to you. And you don't want that to happen. You're way more interesting than I am.
Okay. What about I tell you the story of how I first ran Blue Flash, my speeder, how I first got hold of it and then put it in a race, and I lost one entire wing, but I won the race.
Where's the other wing?
I didn't hang about. It was that kind of race.
Checking my files. Deveromians don't have wings, so you're talking about the speeder.
Always smart on the punchline, to be.
Faith, how have you been, my friend?
Little trouble with the 66ers, but nothing on me, obviously. I've been okay.
Good. I'm glad
We were all alive.
Well, for now, this Jawa is not in very good shape. These cybernetics are poorly fitted. Should I remove them?
No. They are.
No. I don't think I'd be able to stop him from coming back to take pieces off of you in payment.
I see. Well, I like all my pieces, so I'll leave that crappy piece of work in.
What would it cost to put the cyberware right?
I think I could tweak up some of this and have at least both eyes work at the same time for a measly 2 credits.
Okay, here you go, Socks. Make the transfer.
Sweet. So you're handing off to Tubi a couple of cred to get Wick's eyes working both at the same time. That sounds awesome.
I just, the way they keep kind of flipping on and off, I just find it very disturbing.
You think you're constantly being winked at?
Sweet. Let's see. So apply first aid when you treat someone's wounds. Use the appropriate medical equipment. No, you're going to a professional, so I think it just costs creds. So here's what we'll go with. You guys spend a cred each, and you can get yourselves healed to 1200, or basically blanket out. I know that Wick is in the worst space, so Wick is yeah, I do want to put this a little bit to the roll. So in the peripheral moves, we have go under the knife. Now the good news is that because Tubi, this is his thing, he automatically has a proficiency of like an extra +1, and Socks is spending 2 cred. So Will, if you don't mind, please roll cred spent plus the 1 from proficiency. So 2d6 plus 3. Yeah. Thank you for doing the math.
That's 11.
Wow. On a 10 plus, the operation was a complete success. Your cybernetics, you can actually add 1 to 2 tags based on the scope of what you'd be interested in adding to your cyber eyes.
Ooh. Well, I think I will remove damaged because if it was up to Wick, he probably would have left that in there because it's just part of the charm. But
damn it, these things are all, reliable.
I will add recording, and I'll think about what the other one is.
Cool. There's a list of tags in the tags tab, so feel free to glance at that if you need ideas.
I will add satellite. Oh, you know what? I can just make one up, right?
Yeah.
Thermographic, light amplification, magnification, recording. What else would I want from
Midichlorian detecting.
midichlorian
Joking.
detecting? Yeah.
That's an ask first. I was joking. I was joking.
Yes.
What,
yes,
what about broadcast? Then you become a mobile camera for the rest of us.
yes, you know what? I'm going to add that recording and broadcast.
Wow.
There we go.
You guys are running your own runner Twitch stream. That
It's,
won't make any
it's
corpse mad.
Gonna, edit together an ad reel for Wix products, the Patika Clan products.
To go with your very flash speeder.
Exactly,
van.
yeah, with a huge sign on the side. Yeah, I think that if it's okay when we cut to Wick waking up, it's just as we leave wherever, it's just going to be him going, something very wrong with my eyes. Must have taken a bad hit there. Is the world always in like this? Nobody else sees this weird thing? Depth.
It's what the rest of us call appropriate level of vision, Wick.
Looks very unhappy at the fact that you've messed with this Patika Clan thing. This is no longer under WeWar's warranty.
WeWa warranty is the best phrase of the morning.
We warranty, yes.
Sweet. I haven't seen, well, we didn't see much from Clayton and Tubi talking. Brandon, is there anything more you wanted to discuss with Tubi before we close out that scene? Because I don't want to cut you off.
I actually asked him if he has any like how he asked me how I'm doing. I'll respond in kind, ask him if there's anything been troubling him, or what's the word on the street or on the track.
Well, things are well. 66 Circle and we have an excellent understanding. You see, I'm now part of their benefits package. Keeps me busy. No complaints. I do wish that perhaps they would not keep me from serving certain clientele. You see, they have a blacklist that I can no longer offer services to, and it's troubling to me because I am built to serve and aid people, as you know.
A blacklist? Is it like their enemies? You can't serve their.
Unfortunately, I would not term these poor folks enemies. They're those who have chosen not to pay the protection fees that 66 Circle requires of people living within their domain.
Okay. That is. I don't know if there's anything I could do about that, but I'm going to think about it. It's not right.
Well, you thinking about a thing often brings solutions.
I do have a request. If you get a someone in the name of Kazdujur, so that's they're a Twi'lek, right? Is that correct? I know that you always provide the optimal standard of care, but if you were to, have some of your servos cross their pathways, really doesn't know how things work. While he's under the knife, I'd owe you a favor. Just, doesn't have to be bad care, just doesn't have to feel good. Given Ombre some issues.
Are you asking me to violate my hypocritical oath?
Do no harm, not cause no pain, right?
It's true. That's a technicality that very few people realize. In fact, some might accuse me of causing harm from time to time, but it's not harm. It's pain. Very different. One's more lasting than the other, and one's slightly funnier than the other. I don't normally talk about that with my patients. Claith, I trust you. I like you.
I like you too, Tubi. I'm glad we have an understanding.
Well, if Kazdujur happens to get an ouchie, I'll see what I can do about that.
Thank you. I'm glad that I was able to turn that just a little bit. Sweet.
We're all set. I think we'll exit on the slow-bo lift.
That sounds slow-bo lift. Oh my god, that's great. I'm writing that down. Best. Sweet. So before we jump into our flashback of how we resolved the mission, I wanted to check in. Sorry, the note in text. So it's cute. So Sherry, anything you had for Denazor?
No, I actually want to get back to the adventure. We've got
Excited to get back to the adventure. Cool.
Yes, I am.
We rewind back to Socks. You are currently in your super dope, awesome speeder. You have been waiting for the call, for them to call to get a pickup, because as you know, the extraction is over in the corp quarter. Your right's too flash, man. You just draw too many eyes. So you had to stay up. What have you been doing for the last hour? Have you been like eating some kind of burger? Have you been like, what have you been doing? Like, what's the montage of a couple things we see Socks doing as he's waiting?
Most of it is polishing the speeder. And then, there is some kind of street food, and there's grease, and then it's polishing the speeder, and then just checking the ignition, making sure everything's ready to go, and then start again, repeat, rinse and repeat, check chronometer, rinse and repeat. Where are they? Why haven't I heard?
The only thing interesting that's happened other than waiting is there's a pair of speeder vans that zip by that have some signs, but you just didn't quite catch it. But they had some signs and they were playing some music, sounded like Leap Jump, but I don't know, just whatever. You had this perfect bit of polishing going on. Then maybe 10 minutes after that is when, was it Claith that made the call for the pickup? I think, because you were doing the awesome zipline stuff. So yeah, so calm, collected. He's a soldier. He doesn't freak out. But there's a sense of urgency, Socks, that from having worked with him before on previous jobs, you pick up that, yeah, it's time to get there toot sweet. So you hop in the speeder.
On my way.
You take off, zooming over the perfectly manicured lawns and all the gorgeous corporate. This is where the corp quarter execs live. And you zip into this one mansion and you see across the street, and there's this line that Dana, carrying Wick, and also Sindar, they're zipping up the line, heading towards Claith. And that is where you, yeah, Toot Sweet is a pretty good Jawa name. I mean, it's true. It's true. I think the hyphens or the apostrophes really make it Jawa-ish. So Socks, you've got a pickup. What do you do?
Well, this is around, slowing as little as possible. But they look to be a little beaten up. So I may actually have to come to a stop and then make a very rapid start. So I'm looking at second skin. When you act under pressure, roll cool plus your car's power.
Yeah, do it. Love it.
Yeah. So power is +2. So
it is. It's fast and responsive.
And my cool is 2, but I'm guessing +3 is my max.
I think +4 is the max out on most, but
okay.
I don't know officially, so I'll go with that.
Well, it now matters because I rolled a 1 and a 2. So
yeah,
+3
would still be a fail, but +4 would
still be a fail.
It's a +4, and I'll.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So on a 7 to 9 to act under pressure, you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The car stalls. The speeder stalls as they, it's the soft purr, and then as soon as the wick is lifted into the back seat, and I turn on the ignition, it goes and settles.
Sweet.
What did you do back there?
Oh no, I think Dana will try going through his backpack to figure out like what anti, EMP, like an EMP thing he's set off, the EMP. Essentially there's probably some piece of gear he's got that's interfering with the engine. So she's like going through and pushing buttons on all the gear.
What do you do about it? What did you do? What did you press? What did you touch?
No.
If you've messed with this is my speeder.
Man, Sox is just having a hissy fit. So you're being fired upon from the mansion, and Sox, if they've got security on the lam, you guys need to do something about this poor speeder, or find another way out of here and leave the speeder behind.
What? Claith, cover me. I think Claith's probably in the best condition. Cover me now.
He's on the back.
That's right.
Suppressive fire. Get out, pop the hood.
Okay.
Tinker, tinker, tinker. This is the kind of thing Wick should be doing, but I'm guessing he's unconscious in the back.
He's unconscious in the back. He's drooling slightly into his fur. Cool. So Claith, I think you're trying to buy some time here. Let's see you. Ooh, what's a cool move for what we're trying to accomplish? I think you're mixing it up with an armed force.
Is that going to be meat?
It is roll with meat.
All right, so that's just 2d6. 3.
A total of 3.
Yep.
Okay, then. So you don't get any choices. And in fact, you are getting fired upon. It is 3 harm coming your way. Do you have armor?
I roll -1. I subtract 1 when rolling the harm move because I have armored clothing.
Okay, fantastic. So then you are taking 0 armor, but you get a little bit better on the harm move. So you're going to take 3 harm, which moves you from 12 to 15, 1 harm, to 18 to 2100. Oh wow! In our bit where you met with Tui, evidently he was healing you up too. But let's have you engage the harm move. So the harm move is when you suffer harm, lower the harm suffered by the level of your armor, fill in a number of segments on your harm clock, which you've done, and then roll plus harm suffered. You would roll +2, but now you're only rolling. Would roll +3 because it's 3 harm, but you're only rolling +2 because of your armor and clothing. You want to roll low.
7. That doesn't seem great.
Well, it's 7. It's actually 9, right? Because it would have been +2, but it's still the same range.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So in 7 and 9, the MC will choose one. You lose your footing, you lose your grip on whatever you're holding, you lose track of someone or something you're attending to. Someone gets the drop on you. I think what happens is you fire suppressive fire on the folks at the mansion, and they're firing back at you. You're at the edge, maybe on like the lip of the building here, and the Duracrete's getting pitted from the blaster fire that's going on. And you've been able to keep them from moving too far forward. Unfortunately, you've seen a few of the Sindar fans, the Sindites, have gotten hit by stray fire from them and explosions and the like. But here is the drop on you, is that you are unable to anticipate that somebody comes around the side and comes up with a jetpack, and they're coming like right up on top of you guys. By the time you bring your gun up, you see that they are coming down on you. And it is, for those who were keeping score, a person by the name of Tanner Sivron. So he's on row 26. He is a cyborg, heavily cybernetic, lots of modifications. And he normally works in behind the scenes, but evidently this has gone poorly enough that he has had to get involved. So he is coming down on you. Dana, you notice this as you're watching all of this craziness that's about to that is happening around you. Dana, what do you do?
I turn on my recording device because I'm supposed to get some more information on him. And if we survive this, I'll be able to show his innards. But if not, then at least this will go back to Janice and maybe he'll pay Kala something. But I am probably going to fire upon him.
That's probably a good
Yes.
idea.
So I don't think I
Let's
have
have you
any.
mix it up. I don't think you have a
Yeah.
move that does anything different. So yeah, you got to mix it up.
Yep, got to mix it up. And so mix it up is meat, which is like I'm -1 at. So this is gonna go great. Yeah, all I got to do is find the roller again because. I
Oh,
forgot to
I'll
go-
share it with
Nope,
you.
I see it. I see it. I just gotta hit the link, then I'll be there. All right. All right, so 2d6 and I'm subtracting 1 from it. Ooh, a 6 -1. It's a 5.
Okay.
I get to take some more damage.
Can I help? Will
You-
help be enough?
Well, let's talk real quick about help, because you roll with links, and on a hit they take a +1, so that will push to a 6. So this is an older
Yeah. Okay.
older game, so it's only the +1 or -2. So yeah, you probably should keep doing your thing. Yeah, I think what happens, Dana, is that here's your miss. Dana, you fire, you ting his shoulder, and actually you see it hit, like it's a blaster hit.
Mhm.
But he's got a metal underneath the carapace, so you blew some of the flesh off, but no blood or anything happens. You do see it scuffed it up, but it's pretty well shielded. Then he brings up his hand and just kind of shifts a couple times, and you see it turns into a blaster rifle, and he fires on you, and Sindar moves real fast in front of you and takes 3 shots to the chest, basically pop, 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 and she falls into your arms, and Sivron looks shocked, like he stumbles for a moment right by you, Claith. But let's cut to Socks to see what you're doing about needing to get back on the road.
Okay, so I think I have multitasking on my interface. So
Okay.
while on the one hand I'm running a diagnostic on the speeder, Beta pops up and fires its scattergun at our assailant.
Nice. Oh, automatic scattergun, 3 harm. Close, near, loud, messy, auto fire. Ugly.
Yeah.
All right,
So
mix it up.
Mix it up. Using the interface, I roll synth plus power. So synth is 1, I think. Yeah, so roll +3, given power as well. That is a 7, 8, 9.
Wait, you're
Can
rolling
anyone-
+3? Did you say you're rolling +3?
Yeah, synth
Because you rolled a
plus
7. So that'd be a 10, wouldn't it?
Oh, I would. No, hang on. No, it's plus. It's my vehicle's power. Now, hang on. Let me just check what it says about the synth. About the.
Okay.
No, it doesn't have a power. It has a strength, which is the same thing, I think. So it's +1. It's still it's
Okay.
it's +1%,
It's the
+1
mixed.
for the drone. For the
Okay,
drone.
so 8.
So mixed. Yeah. 9. 1 and 1 rather than 1 and 2. So
Okay.
9. So were someone to help, that might nudge it to 10.
Yes, it might.
Looks
he
like
near
has-
me.
Claith.
Yeah. I think by this point I've gotten the blaster turned around and he's near me. So I will also
Yeah, that
like,
totally
fire.
sounds like a perfect setup for help. You've got a 1 link with Socks, so go ahead and roll 2d6 + 1.
Oh, yes. 2d6 + 1. Nope, that's 3.
Okay.
Way
Yeah.
wide. Not even
Socks
threatening.
shouting, "This was just supposed to be a pickup."
I think, Claith, what happens is your gun jams. You're going to have to, if you continue using that, you're going to have to waste an action to clear it and get it working again. I think that's what makes the most sense to me right at this moment. You do get a 7 to 9 on mixing it up, which means that you need to choose 2. So you did harm. You guys are going to swap some harm, but you choose 2. You make too much noise. This is Socks making the choice. You make too much noise, advance the relevant mission clock. You take harm as established by the fiction. An ally takes harm as established by the fiction. Something of value breaks. Hey, you can get out of this clean. Just to pass the harm to Claith and advance the mission clock. It's great. What happens?
I would like to pass the mission to Beta, to my drone.
So you're going to let harm come to Beta. That's 1. You have to make a second choice, unfortunately.
Oh, shit.
7 to 9 is harsh.
Oh, so it is. I will take harm as established by the fiction.
Oh my, this is that is 3 harm coming your way. Do you have any armor?
I do 1.
Okay. So please go from, you're going to go to 1800 on your harm clock, which is on row 7. And then you've got to roll 2d6 plus 2 for the harm move.
Wow. 2d6 plus 2. Here we go. Dear God, that is 6.
Great. That's what you want.
Oh, no, yeah, that's what I want. I want low
That's
on this
what you
one.
want.
It's the counterintuitive one.
I know it's the flip mode, and this is a 1st gen Apocalypse Engine game.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to roll low on harm, which is the good news is number 1, you get an XP for a miss, and number 2, you just take that harm. You just take 2 harm. That's all. Sweet. Sweet. Now you are multitasking, right?
Yeah.
Which means
my interface allows me to multitask.
I'll give you an act under pressure, and if as long as you have a hit, you've got the speeder back up and running.
How could I miss again on a roll plus 4?
How could you?
By rolling a 3 and coming really, really close.
Dang. Wow. I think what happens is you realize that Beta, like this thing needs another power cell. You're going to have to strip Beta and make Beta effectively unpowered until you can get her back to a shop. Does that feel like a hard choice?
Oh, that's hard enough. I thought you were going to scratch the car.
No scratches whatsoever that I've done.
That I thought would have been unreasonable.
Sweet. So the speeder starts humming back to life. Dana, Claith, and Socks, the 3 of you now have a cyborg to deal with who lands on the roof, and he looks across all of you. He's got his blaster rifle, and he says,
Turn her over or all of you will die.
and Dana, you're holding Sindar in your arms,
I know.
and she looks rough,
Yep.
except maybe it's a Sephi thing because her blood looks kind of black, but then you sniff it and you smell oil.
Wait a minute. And then I'm kind of like, oh, wick, damn it. And I think, can I nudge him for a moment? I don't know. I need someone who can look at this.
You could wake him up if Wick wants to wake
Okay.
in a pain state.
Yes, I think I will. I will elbow him. I will up the pain. So
No, we were.
I need you. She goes, come on, take a look at this. Gotta figure out what we need to do to keep her alive.
Not a doctor.
No, but she needs your skills. And I sort of like kind of push his hand, like, or no, I hold my hand up and there's the oil on it.
Then Wick, you know what? Let's fudge with some of the rules a bit, and let's say that the gear was a hyper stim that you jabbed into me to wake me
Okay,
up for a
that's
second, right?
cool.
Like smelling
Yeah.
salts, and super fast, super like amped up on like a Jawa on speed. Wick clambers up over the thing, over the other side of the car, and then on top, and then looks up at Sivron as he stands on top of the thing and goes like, "Shh, quiet in the operating room, and starts to work on the on her. And what would that be? Because this is one thing I was thinking, is that there isn't short of the decks, there isn't actually like a tech move, is there, in Sprawl? Like, really?
I guess we would go into act under
Under
pressure,
pressure.
because you're right. There's nothing really. I mean, applying first aid is a thing.
Yeah, should we do it as applying first aid?
Sure. You just, because your technical skills, you have the possibility of doing the thing. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
try that. Roll plus cool.
I didn't know the tech has a, like, if you do bypass security systems and things like.
Oh,
Well, that's another high roll. There's a 6 there.
But I can assist because
Yes.
I have a cool aplenty, so I will help.
oh, you're
so-
rolling plus links.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh, okay.
in
But
the
you're saying
sense that-
because your character is
yes.
cool, you might be able. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So I have a
I think-
+1.
It's a like Wick is going in and trying to rip on some of that.
I
Wait,
tend
that
to
might be an
assist.
important- Oh, sweet. It pushes you to a 7. Delightful. So in apply first aid on a 7 to 9, reduce their harm by 1 segment. Okay. The harm clock is still at more than 2100. They'll take -1 ongoing till they receive proper medical attention. I think that's where she's at. Is
Yeah.
she was, yeah.
She,
Now-
so she's still badly hurt, but she's no longer bleeding out, kind of thing.
Here's what you discover, Wick and Dana, because you're helping.
Mhm.
She is also a cyborg. And you even see like her chest is just a metal piece. Like she looks human. But this is why she's a very fully clothed pop star. Because where she got hit in the chest tore straight into the robotic innards that she possesses. You also see, and I'll say, Dana, you maybe pick this up while Wick is frantically trying to help. She's got in Arabesh, the Star Wars language, she
Mhm.
has a series of numbers that are on the plate on her chest,
Mhm.
and it's in the exact same font as what you see that Sivron has along his neck.
And I sort of look at that, and then I look at him like there's that sort of and I'm going to zoom in on his stuff, and I sort of point at him, and I'm like, we got to go, but I'm like pointing at him, like going, I see this. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense. Are you trying to, like, I see this and you're recording? Oh wow,
Yep.
That's awesome. Are you trying to get him to back down?
Yep.
Awesome. Let's see you, even though it's not words, let's see you do a fast talk here.
Ooh, okay, what do you need? with
Fast talk, you
fast?
roll when you try to convince someone to do what you want, promises, lies, or bluster. I think this is maybe qualifies as bluster. Roll plus style. Your style is flat. I thought Dana would have more style, honestly, but you're all cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So that was
You're a
it.
good
Sometimes,
infiltrator.
just keeping. Okay, so I'm gonna roll, and it's just flat. I got rolled a 12, so.
Nice. He looks at you, he says,
Do not let her be terminated.
And
And-
and she's, yeah, I think she points at socks.
Did Sivron say that?
yes, Sivron
Yeah?
said that.
And Wick pulls out, flips his screwdriver around and holds it above her and says,
He's like,
Leave her.
technic-
"Yeah,
Cool.
I fix up the leak," and then I immediately go, "Well."
I made her to where she might live, but she might die because of hydrospan. Claith, I think because like a little bit of this went on. Is it cool if maybe you were clearing your weapon, you cleared the jam, and you could be good to go at the end of this? Does that feel fair?
Sure. Yeah. Are we clear of? I have something if we're not clear of our foe. Like if Sivron
Okay,
is not
what's that?
left.
Yeah.
I have 2 hold for pieces of gear that I need. So I love it when a plan comes together. So one of those is going to be like a wrist on my wrist comm. I instead of unjamming my gun, I I programmed it to the wavelength of say remote controlling Civron's jetpack, and my goal is to just put in just like a bunch of different command or direction commands and have him just fly into a building or wherever so we can get away.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, so there's a moment where he pauses because Dana, you had your 12 plus on making him back off. He looks at Wick, who's holding this like screwdriver hydro spanner over his neck, and maybe he's going to act, but then Claith, you send his jetpack spiraling and it yanks him away. And of course, because he's flying randomly and we don't know what's happened, I get to use my patented Wilhelm scream as he flies off. Socks, you can kick your baby in gear and get out of here toot sweet if you wish.
That would suit me.
Awesome. So you guys zip off and make your way towards heaven below hell, which is, as a reminder, because it's been a whole week, the end of your mission is to get her there, Sindar, and to release her album ahead of that for a bonus. And then she needs to get there and perform. And as we look at the clock and the mission clock, you guys are at 2100. Midnight is the mission fails. So things are progressing and very, very close to the edge. So Socks, what does this look like as you guys are flying out of Corp Quarter and heading to Neon Quarter, which is quite a ways away?
Oh, this is about, just ignoring the lane signals, because speeder, cities have speeder lanes. So this is about just, skipping lanes, dropping, rising. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, even if the city would prefer it not to be the case.
Nice.
I'm thinking, you might want to go with act under pressure when you race against the clock.
Absolutely. Let's see how this goes.
Well, again, this is +4.
We'll see if it really is. Do these dice understand that you're rolling with a +4?
Yes, that is finally 13.
Finally, what we would hope would happen, the thing that you're an expert in, you actually perform well in. Great. So your speeder zips along. There are a few if wave erratica speeders that are giving chase, but you duck around them. What's the final moment of losing these folks before you head to heaven below hell?
This has to be flying sideways almost, so that everyone's barely in the speeder between two narrow buildings.
Nice. And I think Dana likes holding on to Sindar.
Into a tunnel. And
Sweet.
then emerging on the other side, sedately moving.
Nice. And I think during that crazy set of maneuvers, Socks, Dana, Claith, the two of you are near Sindar. She's got to perform. When you guys to finish this mission, she has to perform. That's part of your contract. What are you doing about that? Because she looks messed up.
Wick's done a fine starting job, but who is, really, if you had a cyborg to repair in our set and circle of people, that's who I'm calling up right now. To have them ready to go at heaven and hell or whatever that place is.
Yeah, heaven. Well, let me double check because I wrote it down in the Crania City area in Neon Quarter. Heaven beneath hell. I think I keep saying
hell.
below.
Okay.
Heaven beneath hell, an underground club. So let's see. I think, do we have a peripheral move that covers this?
Like contacts.
Yeah, Kalara could be. Kala?
Kala?
Could that be? That could be a thing. Yeah, because I don't know if we have anything other than
Hit the streets roll, I guess.
Yeah, we could do hit the streets. Maybe hit the streets is the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, let's have you Hit the streets is on column A of the basic moves. And you go to contact for help, roll plus style.
Plus style. Oh, so much style. I had no idea. So I'm just rolling straight.
Yep, you're rolling 0.
Okay.
And
But I rolled a 12 again. So there you go.
what
I-
the price for a street doctor for gunshot wounds is 2 credits, apparently.
Yes.
On a 10 plus, you get a little something extra. Choose either intel or gear. Interesting. You get what you want.
Oh, I got it. So I got the person. I think I think this is, well, let's see here. What would be good intel? I get the person that I need, right?
Sure,
But
yeah.
But I think the other thing is that they actually have worked on this, like, not her, but on maybe his sister or something like that. And so this is someone who knows this particular set of cyborg design things.
I like that. That is really, really cool. That is a really good, nice work. That's awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, you reach out to Kala, you explain the situation. She says, okay, I'm on my way, but oh gosh, I'm leaving behind some stuff. It's fine. I got it.
Okay.
And she will make her way to heaven beneath hell just after you guys arrive. So yeah, I think what happens here is that you guys rush Sindar in. There are security here at heaven beneath hell. At this point, it will be a street war for the court to come in. You've been recording this, but you haven't broadcasted, Dana. Is that right?
Nope. It's
Okay.
it's just there for a video afterwards, because this is the most important thing is to be free, right? That's going to be it. But I do think that we have to get her album out still, right?
You do.
So I'll just start that downloading into the Heaven Beneath Hell system, and they could broadcast as needed, can't they?
Awesome. Well, heaven beneath hell is a very stylized place. I like the descriptor of it. So let me grab that real quick because I thought that was neat. Where are you? Did I go to the wrong place? I'm only going to give this like one more moment and then I'll give up. But it was originally an old style radio tower that has been converted into a club. So it has ancient communications tech that works on not only the high tech, but also on the low tech. Oh, thank you for that note, Will. Luckily, we can track it in the die roller because you should be getting XP on those missed rolls. Everybody should have leveled up by now, even at 10 XP. I think you guys have missed all the XP, all the rolls. Anyway, except for Dana, who occasionally is incredibly successful. She looks really, really out of it, but she grabs hold of your arm, Claith, and she meets your eyes, and she's got that pale gray skin and those big pointed ears, but there's something that's pretty human about her as well. And she says, I think we got a lot in common. You were a hitter for the wrong people too, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to do what they programmed me to do. I just want to make music.
Well, you're free to do that now. We're making sure of it.
You think they'll really let me? Or is this just another feint? Are these people going to try to control me too?
Well, it's another corpse, so I can't say they're not going to try. But well, you got a friend in us, and hopefully it's at least better than what you had. I don't know if any of us are ever really free from them.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right, Clay. And with that, Kala comes in and is able to replace enough parts to where she covers up the wounds, and she says, I'm okay. I can make this happen. You guys release the album, which is the Omni Millennial Tour album, and everyone may mark XP. You have delivered her to heaven below hell, heaven beneath hell. Dang it, I've got it written in 2 different places differently. Heaven beneath hell. So you may mark 2 XP, the one for the tour album and delivering her. And the mission is over. So you mark a 3rd XP. Tink, 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 all at once. Now, it is the last thing we'll do, and then we'll take our mid-game break, is you need to get paid. So shall we have this happen at the Chip-Off Cantina? Like, a little bit of time has passed. This is just before the scenes that we started with. So you're still injured, still feeling kind of rough, but you go to meet and get paid by your employer. So you meet with Janice, and he looks pleased. Well, I didn't know if you were going to pull it off in such a short time frame, but you did. So
We're very good at this.
I'll keep that in mind.
Video says not that good.
So you're going to roll and add the number of unfilled segments on the legwork clock. 1, 2, 3 unfilled segments is what I see. So you get to roll +3. Yes. Yes, I love the idea that Wick also, the stem, worked just long enough for him to help out with Sindar and then threaten Sindar, and then he's back out again. So you're drug around. You're present at this scene, but you are not active. You're like a puppet that nobody's animating. It's great. So who wants to make the roll for get to roll 2d6 +3?
I'm just very nervous that I have no track record. I look at Dana.
Yeah, but I think that's all my luck for like the next 3 months. So there you go.
You guys,
We
you always
we
plan
both
on.
look at Clay.
Yeah,
I'll take the heat.
that's a
I'll
great
take this.
roll.
How
This
many?
feels very Bluebeard's or not Blue, Brindlewood Bayish. Like no one wants to make the roll for the
2d6 +3. Which is 10.
That's my boy.
Whoa.
All right. On a 10 plus, choose 3 from the list below. This is on column E, starting at row 4 of the peripheral moves. Do you see it, Brandon?
So, I had it. I accidentally just made a bookmark instead of. Yes, here it is, getting paid. Choose 3 from the list below. Got it. Employer is identifiable, meeting doesn't attract the attention of outside parties. Learn something from the mission. Everyone marks experience.
There's also you are
There's
paid
2
in
above
full.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're paid in. Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
Pretty
I think-
important ones at the top.
Yeah.
I'm going to move
paid
those
in
around.
full.
Okay. Paid in full.
It's not a setup or an ambush because we're pretty beat up. That would not be great at this moment.
That would suck.
And I feel like we did learn something from this experience. Dana has that video. We just actually did learn that Sindar and Tanner are connected. So let's get an extra experience.
I think that's great. It's no wonder you guys take your orders from Clay. He's getting
I think
this.
we've all learned something here today.
Very sad morning cartoon. Wonderful. Anything else from the Sindar extraction that folks wanted to do before we go to break and then jump ahead?
I would like to know how much I earned.
Great
Particularly
question.
as all I did was drive a getaway car badly.
So you guys all get 1 bonus cred, regardless of what you staked, because you did the bonus thing. I am going to go back and say it's 2 cred base for the mission. So you've made a total of 3 cred. Now, creds staked. Let's talk about the creds staked portion of this. All right. So it pays in full. So you, okay, got the job, getting the job, paid well. All right. Okay. If the job pays well, paid in full, you get back 3 times what you staked. So you get a base of 3, and then you get back 9 socks. So a total of 12 credits.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that paid in full, or because like there's get the job pays well, and I think that's what makes it a triple
Oh, if
multiplier.
a result
then I
of
think
getting the job, a job paid well. You're right. You're right.
And I
Okay.
think
So if you get paid
I
in
think
full,
it-
you get twice. Thank you.
twice.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much for that. I misread, and you're 100% right. That's how it works. I am going to add those notes in here because
Or twice what we staked, not thrice what we staked.
twice what you stake, not thrice.
Okay. Got a lot of creds.
Okay, cool. If you complete the mission.
I can't imagine what a new power pack for Beta is going to cost me, though.
Oh, it ain't gonna be cheap. I'll think about that during our break.
I'll
Sweet.
give Kyle a 5.
That definitely will help out. She had to give up some important stuff to come to you, but of course she'd do it, even if you didn't pay. Cool. I am going to let us
Yeah,
take
the
our.
whole time I'm faking I'm fine. So
Of course, she's not going to be offended that you went to someone else to get healed. But we've already handled that that scene, so it's what happened. Ha ha ha. Sweet. Let's go ahead and take our mid-game bio break. Okay, when we come back in, the mission is done. There is a brand new hit, a new leap jump hit that is playing across the airwaves of Crania City, pumped by a particular corporation that you guys just helped out with your mission, and Nuva Tech gets some, they've like embedded some ads into it, but it tells a little bit of a story about liberation, about someone being freed, and about the joy of music overcoming all. And there's some clever mentions of each of you by your street names, not by your ident codes, but people who know, they know that you guys are getting hat tips from an up and coming hollow jockey star. Did anyone have any other downtime scenes that they wanted to engage in before we move to your next mission?
Unless it's just spending some money to get Beta up and running again.
Yeah, I think it's like, I was thinking it was 4. Does 4 feel fair to getting Beta and the speeder up and running?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. And then Wick, you got new eyes, and that feels weird.
Yeah.
Seeing colors, and
I think
very
when he
strange.
sees Weewa, he goes,
The frustrating thing is that it still looks like he's bloody winking. But now he's
Yeah.
doing it on purpose.
Now I'm doing it on purpose. Yes. Yeah. I couldn't
Making
choose
it
when to close
flicker.
them sometimes before either. Yeah.
What you doing?
Nothing.
You need fix? More
No,
fixing?
no, it's fine. Never need fix Weewa. All
Reaches
good.
for the hand, trying to pull by the wrist.
No. Yeah. And then eventually pulls off and shiny cyber eyes revealed.
So ugly.
Inferior work, I know.
Too flash.
Wouldn't last a single sandstorm.
No. Bad work. Ugly. Ugly. Turns. Just like, nope. Not gonna talk about this. The
Awkward
worst.
silence follows. Yeah.
Later, in the van where you're all are sacked out. Wick thinks that they may hear Weewa crying softly to themselves. Doesn't want anyone to see. But yeah. Okay, cool. I have a question first. There is an operative. If you take a look on row 2 of our NPCs, I've moved her up, or them, sorry, moved them up. Their name is Parcel. They were a member of Yin Group. Yin Group is kind of space Uber. Also space UPS or space FedEx, all the things, moving things, keeping Karania City moving. That is a Yin Group commercial that is heavily played. Parcel used to work for Yin Group. They went freelance and have done some missions. Who among you has done a mission with Parcel?
I don't think it'll be me because
Okay.
it sounds like our skill sets
little bit of overlap.
might overlap too much.
Yeah.
I could see it being me. Like, she was the handoff person after I liberated something from it.
Nice. Yeah, you infiltrated, you grabbed
Mhm.
something. We're not going to affect the corp clocks at this. I just want to establish a little bit. What did you like most about working with Parcel?
The thing that was really good about Parcel was she kind of had that all around awareness of stuff going on. And so like while we were in communication, she could tell me when things were getting, like she was very helpful with the timing so that it didn't pop it out at the time when someone would have seen us and things like that. Just that sort of all around awareness that is really, really rare in people. Where they're looking for everything, understanding the cascade of what can happen, and has that sort of spatial sense of where I would be and then how that would affect things. So they are, which of course kind of makes sense for being a delivery person too.
Awesome. Claith, what about either Parcel style or their gear were you secretly just a little jealous of?
Remind me which row this was on.
That's okay. It is up on the top row, really. L.
Oh, okay.
L2. Bingo.
Okay. And sorry, ask the question again.
No problem. What about either Parcel style or their gear were you, or maybe someone that you know, if you don't feel like you're the kind of person to be jealous of gear, were you a little jealous of? And why?
Their courier. I think whatever they use to get around is something like small, maybe portable. And like I'd be like, that's a good bug out
Nice.
gear. Like it's like a small like speeder bike thing that like folds up.
Oh, nice. So like a
case.
A case speeder bike. So
Yeah,
it's probably just a
folding
single
bike
person, like a
speeder.
crotch rocket kind of deal, but is a great way to bug out. Maybe a backpack.
Yeah, maybe it's a unicycle. Speeder unicycle.
Sweet. I'd imagine maybe she's gotten or they had a little like neon emitter. So if you've ever seen like Akira, where they zip past and they leave behind the
Mhm.
street,
The trail, yep.
they leave the neon trail, because that just tickles me. I've always thought that was this silly but also delightful affectation of cyberpunk gear that it paints light across. Very Tron-like too. Anyway, I'll shut up. Thank you very much for indulging me a bit. And then Socks, when you and Parcel got into a race, how did that come out? Who won, or did the race actually even finish?
I think that, I mean, I won, obviously. But
That's
I
what you
think
tell
that
everyone. Yeah.
there was a complication, because I think that she says I didn't win because technically we didn't finish, but I was sufficiently far ahead at the point the race was interrupted. That means that there was no way she was going to get past me. And I think probably it was interrupted by our friends 66 Circle, who got word that my speeder was involved in some street racing.
So you were ahead, but no one actually finished.
Oh,
because
well
66
ahead, too far ahead for that kind of booster rocket she sits on to actually get by me.
Of course. I like it. I'm sure that the story from the other side is maybe a little different, but
Oh yeah, to hear her tell it, it is undoubtedly different, but don't get confusing what she says with the truth.
it's fair. Awesome. Dana, you are the first to receive communication. It is not from Janice, your normal fixer who always gives you a little something on the side, sadly.
Mhm.
It's a corporate fixer by the name of Mr. Lee. He's known to be a straight shooter. And I don't know, have you worked with him before, or have you just heard that he's a straight shooter?
I think I've only heard of him before. This is kind of surprising that he's contacted me. Like, I always had the impression that you had to have corp connections. You super don't have corp connections.
Yeah, it's a little surprising that he would be reaching out to you. And the communication says, this is Mr. Lee. If you could gather your team for a virtual meeting, I have an urgent task for you, if you are amenable and free. If not, please notify me as soon as possible so that I may look for another team.
I guess I will send the thing of calling them together. Like, essentially, she'll put a countdown up. Does that make any sense? Like 15-minute countdown. And then try to get the group together for the virtual. So messages to all.
Sweet. Do any of you want to gather alongside another person, or is this like 5 virtual heads in one conference call, which is perfectly fine? I'm just trying to get a sense of place.
I'm very happy for anyone to be with me while I'm underneath the speeder, but I'm not very good company.
Ever?
I think maybe
Not while I have something more important to do.
maybe Weewa is working on Sox's speeder with him, and I'm sat there looking very official on the business chair with them in the background of the Zoom thing,
Like that. Yeah, Weewa is, I think Weewa is wearing different robes. Like, they look, maybe remind you just a little bit of Sinox Flash style, but Weewa's definitely trying to seem cooler now.
I mean, it's only right that the money we got from Grimm goes on the kind of clothes that they would have wanted,
Right. Mr. Lee appears. I'm totally biting off the Star Wars style of the blue hollow. It's like upper half of his body displayed. He says, "Thank you all for gathering so quickly. I prefer to give more lead time if I am able, but this is an urgent request. I believe that at least 2 of you have had interactions with the runner known as Parcel. They, he pauses for a moment and says, sometimes missions fail. Sometimes there's a mess to be cleaned up. This time, I'm asking you to be the cleaner, not the puddle. Our operative was captured while infiltrating a local facility of an up-and-coming cyber optics company known as Augatech. My employer would like you to recover the operative and sabotage the facility's servers to cover our operative's role in the infiltration.
So you'd like us to rescue Parcel?
Yes. And also make sure that there are no obvious signs of their infiltration. Now, Claith, you know this is really weird. Usually, a corp would just say, hey, we don't know anything about this operative. Oh, you killed them? Oh, that sucks for that person. We don't care.
Might ask why they're so important.
I'm not at
They're
liberty
not
to say.
expendable. Right.
I apologize if the timetable is too quick for you, but there is a Augatech has already reached out for an Imperial interrogation droid to be sent to handle this. My employer is doing what they can to forestall the inevitable, but time is short before Parcel will no longer be of use to anyone.
Okay. Do you by any means have the intel that Parcel had?
We do not. Somehow they were able to cut off all communications with the operative before Parcel was able to communicate out about their capture. We have only found out that they were captured through indirect means.
All right, this might be a little bit more crash bang than we prefer, but she sort of looks at Calais.
Yeah, does Clay have any questions for Mr. Lee?
Yeah, I guess related to the potential crash bang nature, you mentioned needing evidence of Parcel's capture to be not there.
Correct.
What kind of evidence might they have that we need to get rid of? Security tapes, DNA evidence?
Yes. Yes.
And do you know anything about the location where Parcel is being held, or just that? Well, because yeah, I guess he should.
I do, and I'm happy to provide that to you if you accept the job.
I think it's something we can do.
Cool. Do anyone have any other questions for Mr. Lee?
No,
All right.
No, I don't think so.
I think
So-
in the background of this, there's been a point where Wick and Weewire have started into a huge, furious argument on mute, and then
Argument
turned
on
around
mute.
and noticed the camera on them still, and then thrown something at it to turn it off for a few moments. Like,
Oh, Wick, you are bad at interfacing with the corpse. Very bad. Cool. Then if you want to jump over to the Karania City tab, there's a location of ping. That map comes up for you as Mr. Lee presents, and there is an offshore platform that is located between Neon Quarter and the Hive. It's actually a little south of the map that you're looking at. There's a sea like that happens from that river that pours out into the sea, and it's an offshore tech platform that Olga Tech evidently owns. It isn't something that's really on maps, right? So people could fly right by it and physically see it, but look on the whatever Spoogle maps or whatever and not see it.
Google Maps.
Space
Should we be-
Spoogle.
Yeah. Should we be rolling get the job?
Yeah, let's have you
Yeah.
get the job. I think
Who's,
that's a
our
place
Got it. I got it.
because he's your edgy guy, so he's perfect for this.
Yeah, edgy with a 5.
Oh my! Do you want to ask? No, you can't.
That's no, it's not gonna help. I don't think I have enough links.
Wow.
Oh, it's only +1 anyway.
Yeah, that's just bad. So that's just a fail. What happens when you fail on getting? I guess you just don't get any. You don't get any options. So he doesn't give you intel. He doesn't give you gear, and he tells you that the pay is too cred. The meeting has attracted some attention, and you have no idea who the employer is because he didn't tell you. Wow, that's terrible. I'm so sorry.
We're just
for all of
actually
you.
very grateful having
Mhm.
got on his radar. It would be
Yeah.
impolite to ask any difficult questions.
yeah, and I think Dana just wants to get going because if, she's in trouble, if Parcel's in trouble, we got to get her out of there.
Yeah, I mean, even I think that she shouldn't be locked up somewhere, with an Imperial interrogator on the way.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
otherwise, how are you going to do a redo on the race and prove it once and
Well,
for all?
I mean, if we don't finally finish that race, people are never going to believe the true version.
The true version of what happened. Absolutely. Cool. You now have entered the legwork. Oh, no, sorry. Before you enter the legwork phase, how many socks, how many creds do you want to stake on this mission? Your base pay is 2 cred.
I think that I would like to stake 3.
Awesome. I love that you do this.
It matters. This one matters. This is personal.
Cool. Then let's move from left to right. Claith, how many creds would you like to stake?
We got no info. After the stun has worn off of ending this call with Mr. Lee very abruptly, no info. Got no gear, no intel. We don't even know who this job is. 1. I'll stake 1.
Okay.
Not as much confidence in this job.
And then we will ask Dana Zor, how many cred do you wish to stake on the successful completion of this?
I always stake 2.
Okay.
It shows commitment, but not any sort of sense of risk.
And then Week Chunt, you weren't paying much attention during this mission debrief or the beginning of the mission. How many creds are you staking on the success of this?
I am struggling to think of a reason why Wick wouldn't stake 3 on every job that he does. It feels not very Jawa-like to hedge your bets on anything. But I am conscious that then we're repeating the same spread of things as the first time, aren't we? So we'll have on an equally high tensor mission. I'm going to go for 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So staking 3 cred on a job raises the stakes, draws attention, therefore increases the risk of the job. For every player that stakes 3 credit on a job, the legwork or action clock advances. Advance the action clock by 1 first, then the legwork clock, and continue to alternate. It's not so bad. It's fine. You guys are all smart, lovely individuals. So you have now entered the legwork phase. The call ends and you have a running clock for when the Imperial interrogation droid, that's the little large floating ball with syringes sticking out of it that Princess Leia had to deal with. One of those will be sent to interrogate, and no one has resisted an interrogation droid before.
Okay.
Who would like to try to find more information or your legwork phase? You've accepted the job. Everybody mark experience.
Okay. Ooh, then I level up.
Yay. Congrats.
Ooh, yeah, so do I. Gee whiz, right. Think about that in a moment. Yeah, I wanna do a discrete flyby.
Ooh, that's
this
cool.
Location. And
Yeah,
assess,
I like that.
What's it called? Assess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
When you closely study a person, place, or situation, then roll plus edge. So we see you zipping by on your awesome flash-looking speeder.
low on the water.
Ooh, low on the water. Oh, so you're like spray coming up type deal.
Well, no, the discreet, not that low.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, would you look flash and everything?
Well, once I turn away, then you boom.
Boom, 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 boom. Little 80s kind of Miami Vice music playing as you zip along the ocean ways. I love it.
So this is just edge. The car has nothing.
Just
Speed
edge.
has nothing to do with this. 2d6 plus 2.
It's not what your speeder was built for.
2d6 plus 1. Sorry. Oh, that's an 11. Ooh, ooh.
What? So good. In the ensuing
Okay.
action, you may spend 1 hold at any time to ask the MC a question from the list below. You get 3 hold.
What is my best? Well, what is our best way in?
Ooh, what is your best way in? So you get a look at this offshore facility, and it looks like it used to be an oil drilling, like an offshore oil drilling setup. But you pick out that there are several moderately hidden, but obvious to your eyes, turrets, turbo laser turrets that are set up for perimeter defense here. You believe that the best entryway is probably coming from underneath, because they have got the top covered and scanned very well. You see there, they've got a few drones. One of them that looks like the same model as Beta. Well, more than one.
Okay. I think I might like to sit on the other questions, if that's okay.
So yeah.
Until we've got a more complete picture, but it looks like entry from down low. So in and up seems to be the way to do this. Okay, to avoid those lasers. Fine.
Claith, what about you? What would you like to do before you guys jump into action? Anything?
Yeah. I think Clayton is going to go to the blueprints again and try to research maybe like a floor plan for this offshore drilling platform. It's not going to be a recent one, but just some internal information about like what I'm looking for is how do we get to our objective, like where some areas that might be likely interrogation areas.
Cool. So first of all, we're now at the start of a mission. So let's go ahead and have you roll plus edge for your I love it when a plan comes together.
Reminder. Oh, 13. So
okay, so you gain 3 hold, and at any point you can spend for hold among those effects. Pretty great. Yeah. Okay, so you wanted to do some research on the facility itself, is that right? I just want to make sure.
Oh no, yeah, I realized I started talking about the facility itself, and I was game wise, I'm trying to use my move about learning more about corporations
Okay.
and getting some intel. So actually, maybe I'm looking more about like what kind of internal security this corporation would use.
Okay.
How they're organized, how they're equipped.
Awesome. So you used to be a company man. When you research a corporation, you always ask a follow-up question. On a 10 plus, you get extra intel, which is a great idea. And we're tracking intel and gear on the main tab, correct? Who's tracking that? I think that was
that's me.
Clay thing. Cool. All right, you've got
that's
that
in my
down.
notes.
Oh, look at you. You are ahead of the game. Good work. All right.
Rolling plus mind.
Yeah. And I've unhidden, in case folks wanted to take another move, I've unhidden a couple of rows worth of extra moves. In case of...
Thank you. Yes, I did find I do have a move to use mind for meat.
Okay, so you're rolling plus mind.
So
what did you get?
11.
What delightful. All right, so you're rolling plus mind and you're doing research. And
2 intel, that's exciting.
Yeah, so on 10 plus, take intel, you get 1 extra because of your thing, and you get to DMC will answer your question and answer a follow-up question from this list as well. You wanted to know information about Auga Tech itself, right?
Yeah, I guess since I'm researching a corporation, I probably can't really do so much specifics about this location. So maybe let's see well, I guess how secure are their facilities? Like how are they paranoid already?
Cool.
And like are we likely to encounter heavy opposition or just some guys?
Okay, I'm going to drop this into the chat just in case folks want to reference it later. But this is the boilerplate, the very first thing you get. Augatech's up-and-coming corporation operating in the competitive cybernetic vision enhancement market. This facility is their very first, and then you, Claith, would get that this corporation is backed by the influence of General Dardano, who is a confidant of Warlord Zinj. So there's some Imperial seed money that is pushing this thing, which is probably how they got the connection to ask for an Imperial interrogation droid. So that's off the top. That's easy. Now, other piece that you get that you were seeking was how secure is this? It's a oil drilling facility that dried things up, went out of business 10 years ago, was actually taken over by the Empire 2 years ago, and then sold for a pittance to Augatech, probably because Dardano let it go. Meaning the Empire sat on it for a bit. They did some retrofitting to make it into the very secure facility that it is. So it is. Parcel took on a very dangerous job. Does that feel fair? Like a fair answer?
Yeah.
And you get 2 intel out of that.
Yeah, I think I'm satisfied. I don't have like a follow-up, but that follow-up may have been in what we just discussed, but I think I'm satisfied.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Then Danazor, do you have anything you'd like to do?
Yes, I actually would like to look into the entry points. Essentially, that's sort of my job, and I'm good at different ways of doing things. So I think that this is also an assess.
I think so too. How do you like? What's our fictional? How are you looking into this?
I think the first thing she does is she looks up Augatech to see what kind of cybernetic vision, like what is it that it's doing that's different.
Ooh, interesting.
Because essentially she's going to make sure that whatever she does, it takes into the thing that if they're developing that, they're probably using some version of it as well. So she just wants to make sure that her ability to hide or something has a sense of what kind of scans and stuff they've got going.
Okay,
And,
cool.
yeah. So, and like what it's supposed to be resistant to. So again, so that's the first thing. I mean, that's kind of the general thing. So I'm rolling 2d6 and I'm adding my edge, which is 1, I believe. Ugh, dice are back to 3. So it's a 4. So I've moved the clock ahead at the very least. I'm sorry.
Yup. So we will advance the legwork phase.
Sorry.
Tick. Here's what you get. You
Okay.
do get some information. Augatech recently made the headlines as the defendant in a class action lawsuit alleging that they deliberately released damaging optics to market. Word on the street suggests that major corporate players, Kitsune and Ping, are positioning for a takeover.
Ooh.
So that's a bit of information that you get. And then your comm unit rings from an unmarked it's an unmarked number. There's no ping back. You're not sure who it is unless you were able to run some kind of something along the lines behind the scenes.
I have a bunch of stuff, but let's just say that in that moment, it comes through and I'm like, ugh. And what is the ping that they, a message or just that they're pinging?
No, it's a voice call. They want
It's a
to
voice
talk to you,
call.
whoever this is.
Curiosity says I must. Yeah, I think she does the lets it through.
Danazor, you hear a very pleasant voice come through. It sounds slightly modulated. Danazor. We would like to talk to you about your current activities. You have been recently working against a particular group known as Kitsune Media. What would it take for you to break off of such pursuits in the future?
Creds.
What is your price?
What's the price of like an upgrade that Kala totally needs? Like a Bacta tank that works or something like that. It would be
15
that price.
15 cred.
Yeah.
For 15 cred, what is the period of time that you will take no action against Kitsune Media Group?
And Donna stops and goes, Kitsune is everywhere. So if you have a specific thing that you're warning me off of right now, that would be good to know.
Let's alter the deal. I believe that I can have a stipend of 15 creds sent to you or to whomever you designate if you agree to actively work against any action of which you're aware that would harm Kitsune Media Group.
Okay, but I got a job right now and I just need to know. Is that what you're talking about?
What is the job that you have right now?
She starts to laugh. I just need to borrow something from Augatech.
I see. For 10 cred, whatever it is that you borrow from Augatech, I would like a copy.
Is that in addition to the 15 cred?
Yes.
Deal.
You may mark an XP for a particular accepting of, not because of your directive to just put the mission in trouble for your friend. You then, before the call ends, this voice says, I will have these untraceable creds sent to you once I receive the data feed of what you have found.
Very
You'll
well.
be paid in full at that time. Awesome. Okay, so that is Dana's. What about Wick?
Well, we're about to, there's an Imperial assassin interrogation droid en route to the facility, right? And I think we'd have a hard time convincing people that we're, like Imperials on the outside. But once we're inside there, we could probably pass ourselves off as the interrogation droid. So I'm going to seek out one of my contacts in the Rebel Alliance and ask them for some, because they're always rolling in Stormtrooper armor and bits of Imperial stuff. And I'm basically also trying to work my way towards 2 Jawas inside 1 Stormtrooper outfit. So I'd like to call in my contact, Garrick Servleya, who is a Republic spy.
Well, that sounds juicy. I like it.
And I guess I roll hit the streets now, right?
Yeah, let's have you hit the streets.
Okay, that's with style, so I have +2 in style.
It's all stylish among them. I don't know how to feel about that.
And that's a 10. Which means I get a little something extra. And yeah, exactly what I want is well, I guess ultimately what I want is Imperial disguises for as many of the party as want it, and I love the idea of trying to make Sock's robot into the interrogation droid.
Oh god.
But
Beta, the interrogation droid. Oh man.
But that's ultimately, but maybe that extends to like having papers please kind of thing, like an Imperial code cylinder, if not the right Imperial code cylinder, whatever, right? But just enough to be kind of like, so Dana could not be in a Stormtrooper armor, could be like an Imperial officer or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
see Dana in all black with a couple of the like colored bars and that cute little hat. Dana would look very intimidating. I like that. Cool. Yeah. You've got that. And you get a little something extra, right? With that roll, you get intel or gear. What do you want?
I want intel, because I think Garrick, who is an NRI, New Republic intelligence agent that's crossed my path in the past, and is very deep cover here on Karania City. And he's in that whole Obi-Wan style robes, kind of stood in a noodle bar, whereas Wick hops onto the seat next to him, and
Nice.
we start, lean in and talk, and he just he draws on the table like the New Republic symbol in the grease on the top of it, and then wipes it out. And he's going to lean in and whisper to me something about, General Dardano, one of our key targets in the area. Augatech.
Yeah.
Well.
Love it. Yeah. And then you ask for a little bit, and he says, okay. He gives you a quick like ping and an address. Sorry, I say ping and I think of the corporation. It gives you an address. There's a speeder there. Break into the trunk.
Yeah, that's one of their adverts actually, is say ping and you think of the corporation. So yeah. Yeah,
Everyone
but-
wants some ping.
yeah, opens it up, pulls out a stormtrooper helmet, like da 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 da, and we'll see how that goes.
It's dangerous out there. You should take this. That sounds awesome. Oh man, Alice sneezing over there. Good. You guys have done incredibly well in your legwork. You have a healthy amount of intel and gear. You got a possible insertion point. Actually, you don't have any gear. You guys were all taking intel, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, question. How many intel did we get from you?
I just got the one.
One? All right, so we
But I'd forgotten that we didn't
3.
start with any gear, did we?
Did not.
No.
No. Then I changed that, and what Garrick was whispering to me about was the extra thing that he's going to slip into the vehicle that he knows that we'll need for Orbitech.
Okay. So
you know?
instead of gear, you're
Instead of intel,
you'll
I'm going to
take it
get
as
gear. So one
Perfect.
gear instead of one intel. Yeah,
Got it.
because it's
That's
nice to have gear when you need it, right?
Intel.
It definitely pays off.
Yeah, and I've got 3 that the hold that I can use for the piece of gear we need as a reminder too. That's
Oh, so
my-
we've effectively got more than we
Four-
got
four gear, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Nice. I like it.
I still got 2 holes left.
Yeah. What would you
and
like
I'm-
to use those from your
Yeah,
assess?
I mean, do I need to use them pre? It says in the ensuing action, so I'm just wondering if it's worth sitting on them, or
I
would you
think it's
prefer
worth
me
as
to
long as
spend
we
those?
like in my head can or in my headspace from timing wise, I was thinking we probably got like 10 more minutes a game. Probably not going to actually hit the mission when we may transition from legwork to action. So just make a note of that you have 2
Yeah,
holds from
I've-
assess. So that you can
I've
start her.
done that down on row 75.
Good call. Yep. Good work. And I see here that other people don't have more. So let me fix those. There we go. Awesome. So you're going to sit on that hold. Dana made her failed assess that became a betrayal. And Claith, you reached out with your awesome assesses or your research, and Wick did your set for contact. Does anyone have any more legwork you want to do?
I'd like to say potential betrayal.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Potential. Very, very nice. Very nice and lucrative betrayal. I mean, that's good stuff. Think red.
I would like to call in another contact, I think, because contacts let you
Ooh.
do anything. So I guess I'll use I want to try and delay the actual Imperial interrogation squad somehow. Like I want to get them held up in orbital traffic or something, like, yeah, you've not got the right
yeah.
papers there or whatever, right? Like, so that, we won't possibly get a situation where one of us is pretending to be the interrogator and then the interrogator steps through the door or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And no one can check it out kind of thing that they're there, because it'll be like when they ring up the Star Destroyer, they're like, well, the interrogation crew are on their way. Well, they're with you, then what are you ringing me about? Go away, stupid corporation. Like, yeah.
I like that. I like that. I think it would be interesting. Well, okay. That almost feels like part of, is that a legwork or is that an action? Like there's a part of me that feels like you're actively engaging in the mission by delaying the persons that will be sent.
I defer
I'm
to your,
amenable to making it part of legwork if that's what we all agree on.
I just felt like it was something that I couldn't do once we were on the platform.
Fair. Then let's say that it's part of legwork. But I think it might be
I
interesting.
think because it's
Yeah.
maybe I'm contacting the spaceport traffic controller, and I'm going to bribe him. And the spaceport traffic controller is going to be
Are you using your
Gabe
special?
Avansel. Gabe Avansel, yeah.
Give that pencil. All right, dropping that into chat for me.
I'm quickly scrambling to get it written down while I then go back to my he's on the thingy. It's one of the names, suggested names from that useful tab.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, big useful tab.
Okay, I know people. I want permission. I'm introducing a new contact. I named the contact, gave a Vansel, traffic control for Karania City airspace. Takes a lot of bribes. Oh, I've never met them before. They're an unknown quantity. So I've never actually directly worked with Garnier with Gave of Ansel before.
All right. That is good stuff. And
Just mechanically, you can only declare a contact once per mission.
he's got a move.
Oh, I see.
Which is just what I just rolled, yeah. I know people. Then I guess it's a doubled up roll for hit the streets, I guess, to actually get something out of him. Yeah.
You've never met them before. They're an unknown quantity.
Yeah.
And then you need to hit the streets to see if you can get
That's a
them
12.
to buy. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
And we'll take that one as intel if you'd like to add that one, Clay. But I think I'll need to pay him some money for his, and I'll probably need to pay Garrick for the thing. I didn't do that.
Oh, that's true.
So,
You just, hey, listen, we run on hope, but sometimes we have to pay the bills. That's what Garrick would explain. So I think it's enough for 4 folks to infiltrate a couple cred because there's the extra gear that he kicked in on top of it. And Gaver, how long do you want me to delay them?
I would actually say it'd be 4 creds for the Imperial stuff because it's
1 per?
expensive or illegal gear from a fixer. So like,
You're
I
right.
think it's definitely illegal gear to pretend to be an Imperial. So that's 4 credits for that. And then
Super
for that
illegal.
guy, I think it's probably 2 or 3 creds from Gava, maybe.
You got a
'Cause he's
12,
only
so I'll go 2. But yeah,
2?
I think
6
that
then.
makes.
So 6 out of my 11 creds spent. Well spent, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, cool.
Guys
Thank you for that,
can
guys.
appear as a little Imperial team. And
So can I just check in before we? So we are going to use that as the way in.
I think
The reason I ask is that I have a move that I could now take, given my experience. It says, right tool for the job. You have 2 additional cyberlink vehicles. Build each in the same way as your custom vehicle. I'm thinking an Imperial shuttle and a TIE fighter escort. Or is that too much?
here's the thing. You can do that. But operating an Imperial shuttle in an Imperial controlled city is very dangerous. Like, I will start a clock with the Empire. It's not a threat, that's a promise.
I just think that's too good not to do.
Okay. There we
And then we'll
go.
keep the speeder on reserve for exfiltration. I'll stat those up, and between now and then, Rich, have a look at my stats just to make sure I have not over.
I'll peek in and take a look. That sounds amazing. Cool. Good. Does anybody have any parting stuff before we call end of set? Oh, yes, Dan.
I took the move blend in, just so everyone knows. So since there was some talk about us being in disguise, so when I'm about to get caught somewhere I shouldn't be, but I look or act like I belong there, I can roll cool. And on a 10 plus, no one thinks twice. On a 7 and 9, you'll be fine as long as you leave right now. So that might help a little bit with anything if we are going to do some costuming.
Yeah, particularly if there's a bit of betrayal on the cards.
Good stuff. Blend in is a good move. All right, I'm going to move that up a row for you. That way it's on the same level as everybody else.
Sorry, I didn't know if it
No,
was
no,
up.
no. I've loved that you moved it in. I appreciate that big time. Right, tool for the job. Whew, cool stuff. All right. Great work. I'm very excited that we'll be ending our session with you guys trying to spring poor parcel from this Auga Tech facility. And you know that Kitsune has made a corporate move, which was throw money at a problem. Sorry, I'm not supposed to talk about my move, but that move excites me. Throw money at a problem. Yeah, I just bought them off. It's fine. Our profits will return. Good. All right. Let's move on to a bit of wrap up here. And talk about stars and wishes. So we start with wishes so that we can end with stars. Who would like to kick it off with wishes for our final session of the Sprawl?
I would love to have what amounts to a space battle in atmosphere at some point. I'm just seeing vehicles chasing across a seascape.
It's crazy. I can't believe you guys are going to pose as Imperial interrogators. It feels very Star Warsy. This is like a very Star Warsy mission setup. I love it. Any other wishes, Al?
No,
Okay.
anything else is a bonus. I just love it.
Who's next with wishes?
Okay. I am really looking forward to the potential along the lines of this Imperial setup to have a non-violent or social resolution to like getting caught. Probably shit's gonna go sideways, but I think that'll be interesting.
Sweet. So we have a wish for a space battle and a wish for non-violent. Either way, I'm granting someone's wish. I love it. Perfect. Thank you,
Both
Brandon.
of those.
Sherry?
I just want to carry off the blend in a couple of times successfully, and then when it goes to hell, that's fine too. But just
Oh man.
I
Hear
got
the
visions of
staccato.
Dana just pulling the tip of the Imperial cap just a little down, you know.
yes, exactly. So yeah, and then like I see like the whole time she's like listening to all sorts of like Imperial like testimony at trials and stuff like that, so she can hear how they talk, and then trying to catch things of like when they're talking to other people and ordering them around what they sound
Just
like.
make sure you say foul stench.
Yes, yes, she practices that. That's what you hear.
Perfect. Will, what about you? What wishes do you have?
I'd echo the ones for like an infiltration. It's the we're taking this prisoner down to detention, to interrogation or whatever with Chewie, and then you manage to walk your way through right up until nearly the point that you need to, and then or just afterwards, because we got to get out of there as well. I think I would like maybe a temptation on the lines of my profit motivation, or since seems to have some sort of big shady Imperial thing, something that's appealing to the rebels, like some secret that NRI might want or something like that,
Absolutely. That's great. I really like that. Wick volunteered to be the prisoner. All right, Will, you went last with wishes. You get to go first with stars. Do you have any stars to hand out to your fellow players?
Just all of the misses and rolling with them and the sheer chaos of it all. And the fact that we did quite a few back and forths on, the sequence of things, the timeline, like we started with one thing, we jumped back and then we put around, but we still remained like pretty consistent actually. Like we didn't really trip each other up on anything, which I appreciate because it does, like it's always hard to keep track as soon as you go off the sort of beaten one after the other part, and that's the start to you as well, Rich, for keeping it all straight and not being like, wait, where were we in time? kind of thing at any point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm really enjoying seeing some of the economy of the sprawl, like the credits and the stuff like that, and seeing how it all meshes together. So yeah, that's my stars.
Thanks, Will. Sherry, do you have any stars?
Yeah, I really like how puzzly it is. The sort of prepping for the groups kind of now. So afterwards, coming out and getting the money and figuring out what you're doing, and everything kind of has enough crunch that it feels cyberpunky, but it's still PBTA. So it's smooth and no jagged edges, and that's been really delightful. Plus, all of you are quite brilliant. The droid, big thumbs up for Tubi. So
Thank you for creating this. I'm going to sneak in to star Brandon thank you for the challenge and the offer of playing such a interesting character. I'm glad that it didn't annoy anyone. Thank you, Sherry. Brandon, did you have any stars?
Yeah, thank you, Rich, for taking my hastily sketched out character and giving it some fun life. That was a really enjoyable scene to be in. And yeah, I'm enjoying the system. I'm getting a much better hang of it, and I've started to enjoy, as Sherry said, getting into some of the mechanical aspects of it. So yeah, I'm having a great time.
Cool. Bring us home, Alan. Did you have any?
Yeah, I mean,
stars?
to all of you, your patience, thank you. Life is just a bit more complex than it usually is for me at the minute. Tubi, I wrote down Tubi deserves a spin-off series of his own. I want to, I want to see more of Tubi. The fact that we kept going at it, even though the getaway vehicle didn't work. Claith tries to shoot someone and it makes a mess of it. Dana discovers that the person that we actually try to rescue, she's bleeding out, but it's oil. And Wick phasing in and out of consciousness as necessary to the plot. This is classic Star Wars. Classic Star Wars stuff. No, great stars all around. Fantastic. More of the same, please.
More of the same, please. I'll do my best. I really enjoyed this session. Starting to get my feet under me. And thank you guys for helping out on the few times that I foibled, like this costs this and those things. Very helpful. I love playing with y'all because you are respectful and also contribute in very meaningful ways. Now I'm going to go back and read the notes of the game from Will, because he's just that wonderful that he does that thing. Thank you all so much for playing. And with that, we'll bring this recording to a close.